Hi, this is Robin Newhook, and I would like to share with you the basics of developing a marketing plan. Now, we've talked about it, we've given some examples, but I thought it would be helpful just to outline big picture what is involved. Okay, what I've done is I've broken the marketing plan development process into two process areas. First, strategic specifications, and then promotional requirements. As far as strategic specifications, first is the objective, and then your strategy, then product positioning and product description. What is your product and who is it being positioned for? Next, your target market, which includes different demographic segmentation. Research, how is it going to be vetted out? How is the concept going to be vetted out? Finding out how receptive the marketplace might be, and most importantly, finding out if there are any changes that are needed before launch. And then finally, operational requirements. What's needed to create and sustain the product? If it's a technology product, are there any specific technological platforms? If it's a product that needs to be mass produced, what is entailed in that as well? Next is promotional requirements. Marketing communications. What is the marketing mix going to be? What are the appropriate channels to market? And how often and to who? Budget and pricing. Obviously, when you're producing a new product, you need to have some funding or some budget as far as getting things started, as far as launch and development. Pricing. How are you going to have your product priced? Is it a premier product where it has high pricing? Is it going to have a low sort of quote-unquote bargain pricing? And price perception has a lot to do with how your product is viewed in the marketplace. Project schedule. How long is it going to take? How long is it going to take to launch, develop, and most importantly, success factors and ROI. When do you think is the appropriate time to measure its success? And ROI, which stands for return on investment. How profitable? How do you measure the profit? Alright, so objective. An objective is a statement of what's going to be accomplished through the marketing activities. Very important, what the objectives need to do is they need to be realistic, meaning have something concrete, something has a real chance of being met. They need to be measurable, need to quantify whether or not the objective has been met, meaning we are going to launch this product within the next 2 weeks and we should roll out to the rest of the country within 6 months. Time specific, what date, time frame objective should be met. Strategy. Now the strategy is how you're going to meet your objective. It involves the activities of selecting and describing one or more target markets and then developing and maintaining the marketing mix that will produce results within the target markets. Strategy development should also always include a SWOT analysis, and SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Very, very important in understanding what your obstacles are, what your advantages are, and what you're up against out there in the marketplace. Product description, something very specific of what your product is. It should also include, obviously, a very clear statement of your features and attributes. So it's very, very clear to anybody reading your marketing plan what your product is. Product positioning. That's the consumer's overall perception of the brand, specifically in comparison to the competition. What is it that your product has that's better or different than others out there? Target market. That's the defined group that's most likely to buy your product. Target markets can be defined by different segmentations such as demographic, which is how people think and how people act. Geographic, obviously, what area do they live in? And psychographic, as far as what makes them tick, what sort of cultural parameters are going to make them receptive or not receptive to your product. Research, very important to understand how consumers are going to react and perceive the product. Research can be qualitative, which is through focus groups or social media. Qualitative meaning anecdotal comments about your product, or quantitative, Quantitative is specific metrics. Things like surveys when it will say 25% of the marketplace did not think the product was worth the price, or so on. So some of the questions you were going to ask in research is there a demand for the product? Do customers feel like they could benefit from the product? What features do they like or dislike? Operational requirements. Is it easy or difficult to produce? Do you have the right people on staff to help you produce it? Are there any systems or technological platforms that need to be maintained? Marketing communications. Now this is really the meat of marketing. How are you going to get your product out there in the marketplace? What's the promotional message going to be? Promotional messages also have to include a USP, which stands for Unique Selling Proposition. What is it that's really great about your product? And then, of course, you need to decide what the right channels are going to be, whether it be print, broadcast, digital or social media, direct mail, general awareness. What is the right marketing communications channels based upon your product, your budget, and your target audience? And then as far as budget, what type of investment is needed and how will your product be priced? Product schedule. When will it debut in the marketplace? Is it going to be phased slowly in select markets or then launched nationally? How long will the development, launch, and promotion take? And then finally, the most important thing, profit. What determines whether the product is successful or not? So many times folks spend a lot of time in the planning phases but not enough in the evaluation phase. So how will profitability be determined and what is needed to produce a profit? So this is a nice little overview for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be working through the course on developing your specific marketing plans.